Welcome to Fired Up Sports Radio. Today is Thursday, January 4th, and Lamar Jackson has sealed the MVP.
Bullshit.
He's the best player right now.
I don't think his stats don't scream MVP. I know this is normally a quarterback driven award, but this if any year a quarterback is not going to win it, it's got to be this year. It's either your boy if he finishes out strong, or it has to be McCaffrey. Those are the only two.
He's had a house fire too, Tyreek.
Yeah, I mean the guy's on fire so bad his house
literally
on fire. Literally. I mean, it's Billy, how you doing over there, buddy?
I'm good, man.
Oh, and good. We were just making sure you're alive.
Thoughts on Lamar Jackson?
It's Lamar's award to lose, and you guys are right. It's a quarterback award. None of us agree with it. Most people probably don't agree with it, but the fact of the reality is it's always been a quarterback award. And right now, it's between Lamar and Tyreek Hill if a non-quarterback's going to get it. I think McCaffrey getting hurt last week and probably not playing this week kills his chances for a great season where it's just not going to happen.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if the two real front runners, I feel like, would be McCaffrey and Tyreek, but like Lamar he's just manhandling teams. Like he went to San Fran, just slapped his dick on the table, came to didn't go to Miami, went to Baltimore, but he played Miami. I mean, absolutely fucking destroyed us. It was god awful to watch. It was bad, but they played good, and Miami didn't. So now I just need Miami to play spoiler in the playoffs. That's our role now. We're going to be a spoiler all the way to the Super Bowl.
You know what? Listen, I don't think it's Lamar because Lamar's not the best player on that team or the best component on that team. It's the defense, guys. That defense is stupid. Like, it really is. It's very, very good. And I don't see his numbers in comparison to the year that he was MVP to now. I just don't see it. I don't think Lamar Jackson.
If you take him out, it's a whole new ball. Remember, he's got almost 1,000 yards rushing also.
No,
so he's not much of a. I mean, he's a passer too, but and the one thing that his game got a lot better is his little touch passes that he has. I've been watching that game against Miami. Like, that was when I used to watch him in Louisville. It was all about firing the ball because he had that Michael Vick. He's like Michael Vick from the right side. He's that little whip with his wrist, and now he's got a little touch on it. He's pretty good, man. Like he's pretty goddamn good. He's pretty good. So
I mean, listen,
I know you don't agree with it, but we don't have a say. So
we all
know that Lamar's going to win it.
I mean, listen, he's got almost 400 yards less rushing this year as opposed to the year that the year that he won the MVP, he had 3,100 yards passing, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and then he had 1,200 yards and 7 touchdowns on rushing. This year, more yards because I think he's made it a point to prove that he can be that pocket passer.
More than a running back.
Correct. So he's got 3,600 yards, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and then only has 821 yards on the ground and 5 touchdowns. Like I said, it just to me, in comparison to the other quarterbacks in the league, I think there's other quarterbacks in the league that are outperforming him. It's just because he's on the best team in the NFL right now that I think that he's getting this much notoriety.
Yeah, it works.
No, I get it, but that shouldn't be the case.
It shouldn't be, but
Tua has almost 1,000 more yards passing than him.
Yeah,
like you know what I'm saying. Like he's at 36.
Tua is not winning the big games.
Exactly.
Yeah, but hold on. Okay,
it's more than stats.
So then it's Brock Purdy, guys.
The difference between the NFL and everywhere else, and this could go back to mine and Jeff's MVP debate, but the difference is the NFL has an AP Offensive Player of the Year that they give the award for the best offensive performance.
Yeah, exactly.
Lamar Jackson is exemplifying what a most valuable player is right now because if you put anybody else, Lamar Jackson's out, Brett Huntley's playing, no, they're not there right now. Lamar Jackson is playing the best all-around football of his career. And to me, the only other quarterback right now that you could talk about in the MVP race with him is Dak.
Guys, I mean, and I'm going to share, just for us, for our purposes to look along. But Lamar Jackson right now is the 14th ranked quarterback in terms of your passing yards. He's behind Sam Howell, Jordan Love, Baker Mayfield.
Yeah, but remember, MVPs don't always have to lead the league in everything. Like Yogi Berra has 3 of them. He never led the league in anything at any time in his career.
I get it, but
that's the thing. Like, it's just,
the logic
the most
the logic that you guys are dispersing right now, I'm giving it to Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy has outperformed
Lamar Jackson has come up big
by the Ravens.
Lamar Jackson
by his defense.
It doesn't matter. Lamar's playing against the Niners defense, who's been absolutely gang raping everybody, but he seemed to be just fine against them. That's what it is, man.
Lamar Jackson has gone out there and won in the big moments this year. Brock Purdy has lost 4 big games this year. Dak is the only one up there as far as quarterbacks go in an MVP race with Lamar Jackson. And like I said, the difference in the NFL is you're not going to see Lamar Jackson win the AP Offensive Player of the Year. No, that's more along the lines for a guy like Tua or a guy like Brock Purdy, or like that's where the numbers come in. The NFL never gives out there. If the NFL was going to give out MVP based off numbers, just give it to Tyreek Hill right now, and quarterbacks wouldn't get it 90%.
But hold on, guys. Maybe I'm watching a different game than the both of you. Okay, maybe I just don't understand the game of football. Lamar Jackson against the San Francisco 49ers was 23 for 35 for 252 yards and 2 touchdowns and 45 rushing yards. Please explain to me how that's kicking someone's dick in.
Dude, no. I'm saying that the Brock Purdy did nothing against the fucking Ravens. Nothing. And I'm a Brock Purdy.
He actually passed for more yards. He passed for more yards
because they were losing. They had to either run the ball. You had to run the clock down because you're up top so much.
That is one of the worst ways.
Come on, man, that's stupid. That's
analyze something like that. He could go out and throw for 120 in garbage time and beat anybody's passing yards.
I'm a Brock Purdy guy. Everyone knows that.
Yeah.
We're a Brock Purdy podcast. Everybody knows that. He's just Lamar's better, and he proved it. He's just a better quarterback right now. Look, Brock's got plenty of weapons, and he still got shut down. But again, he had to throw the ball. He had to throw the ball because he had to do 4 interceptions. He had to throw the ball. When you're losing that much, you can't run out the clock. You need to pass it.
He threw. Okay,
when you're up that much, you have to run the clock down.
Purdy was 18 for 32, less attempts, more yards, but he had the 4 picks.
Yeah,
and he didn't play the last 2 drives of the game. He was taking that. I get it, but what I'm trying to say is that
there you go.
What sucks for one team is being glamorized on the other side.
No, it's not because Lamar Jackson didn't go out there and throw 4 interceptions.
No,
I understand that game. But what I'm trying to say, guys, is that Lamar Jackson.
You can argue Brock Purdy cost his team that game.
Yeah, fair enough.
I mean, you can say what you want. To me, Lamar Jackson's not the MVP. He's just not.
You don't like him.
No, I have nothing against the guy. I actually like him. I liked him in Louisville.
You do.
No, I liked him in Louisville. I think he's a very good player. I think he's a running back playing the game of quarterback. But this year this year. No, hold on. Let me finish my sentence.
I can't because you've been talking shit the whole time.
But this year he has shown that he is capable of playing because he got weapons. Because the whole thing with him for years was he had no weapons around him. This year, they finally put weapons around him with Flowers. They added Odell.
Most of them got fucking hurt, too.
Well, yeah, I know. I get it.
His entire team got hurt. And I'm not going to say Odell Beckham is a big – I mean, he's an okay receiver.
But
it's not Odell back in the day.
No, it's Zay Flowers and Mark Andrews.
Zay Flowers.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Zay Flowers was a great pick out of BC. But my thing is that, like, I can't see it because, like, he's not putting up these. When I look at an MVP, I look at when he won an MVP, those numbers he put up, those were fucking damn good numbers. He's got more interceptions this year than he did in his MVP year. He's got 400 less 400
Everybody
yards.
does. It's a different type of game than it was even 5 years ago.
No, I get it, but look at
Airtime.
look. So okay, let's do it this way. Ready? Watch. Who won MVP last year?
Who won it last year?
Yeah, who won the MVP last year? Mahomes.
I think it was Mahomes.
Yeah, it was Mahomes.
Was it Mahomes? It usually is Mahomes.
Yeah, it's usually it's one of those guys. So let's see, Patrick Mahomes. Now, completely again, I know what you're going to say, that it's a completely different quarterback, different everything. But last year, Patrick Mahomes threw for 5,250 yards, 41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Okay, and then on the ground, I mean, it wasn't anything significant. It was 358 yards and 4 touchdowns. But that stands out. Like, you're passing for damn near 5,500 yards. That's an outstanding performance. That is an MVP caliber performance.
And nobody's
even close to that yet this year. It's not even close.
Tua leads the leagues at 44-51.
But that's my point, is that we're glamorizing this guy.
We should have no MVP. That's basically what you're saying.
No,
5,000 yards, no MVP.
No, I'm saying that it shouldn't be going to a quarterback. It goes back to my original. It shouldn't go to a quarterback.
I don't disagree with that, but that's the whole thing. The MVP is the best, basically the best quarterback of the year. Then they have, like Billy was saying, they have the offensive player of the year. That goes to Tyreek Hill. That goes to McCaffrey. Then they have, defensive player of the year. Then they have a rookie offensive. Then they have a defensive.
The NFL MVP doesn't just the NFL MVP is not just a stat-driven award.
No,
but my thing is I disagree, because I disagreed last year. Although Mahomes had, I really felt that Cooper Kupp deserved it. You put up a triple crown. Not yet. The year before, what was it? 21.
Yeah,
the Knicks
last year
losing.
was hurt.
The Knicks are losing, aren't they?
Yeah, losing by 5.
They fucking suck. They suck.
No, but I agree. I do agree with you. Like the best, he's the best quarterback this year, and that gets the MVP in the NFL.
Because your
overall player is McCaffrey. It's not my fucking rules. Like, that's just how it works.
I know, but Jeff,
whoever has the most home runs or the most, if you get a triple crown, you're automatically winning the MVP. You could be in last place for baseball, but it's literally.
But that's what I'm saying. Is why is it so?
I don't make the fucking rules. It's not my sports. I don't know.
It almost goes back to what fucking Billy was complaining about with Ohtani.
Every sport is different. That's the whole thing. It's not usually it's the best player. That's usually what it is. Now, baseball, you have offense and defense. All right, you have a pitcher who does this, and you have a center fielder who does that. When you're a quarterback, like, you run that fucking team. That is your team, basically. And then you have a defense. So it's kind of like how LeBron would win and Kevin Durant would win the MVP every single year, because they were just the best player every single year. Didn't matter if they were on a good team or not. They were just the best player. That's how it works. Different sports have different ways of getting the MVP. Some of them, hockey is the guy who basically scores the most points and goals. It's just the way it is. It doesn't matter what place you're in anymore. But it does help Lamar that he's on the best team right now. But if you take Lamar off this team, the way they're doing it, they do take him out, and you put someone else in that as quarterback, probably not doing as good. Or if you take Lamar and you put him on Miami, you put him in Chicago, you put him in Atlanta, he's going to make those teams better. Just a fact.
Absolutely. No, there's no question.
That's why he's the most valuable.
I think we're disrespecting the defense. That defense is.
The defense is the defense. Like, there's nothing you could do. Like they don't have a fucking award for team defense. What are you gonna say? MVP, no. Baltimore defense. No, it isn't fucking fantasy football.
No, I understand what you're saying, but it's just. But my thing is that he's reaping the rewards of playing with an otherworldly.
He's putting up 40 fucking points every game.
That's like saying
but hold on. But how many of those? So how many of those points the Ravens are putting up 40 a game? How many of those points are coming from the defense?
Not that many, but they're definitely
Not that
turning the ball
many.
over so they can get the fucking ball.
And the defense is great, don't get me wrong, but they're not scoring that many points. I mean, based
No.
off your logic, if Judge hits 55 homers this year and Cole wins 23 games, Judge shouldn't win the MVP because it's disrespecting Cole.
There you go. But you have a Cy Young for
Exactly.
the
That's
best.
what the Cy Young is for.
That was just probably the most idiotic thing I've ever heard you say, because it's two separate awards. It's two separate awards.
So is the
MVP
offensive
and the
player of the year and the
offensive
MVP.
player of the year. That's my point. That's the point we've been making.
Joe, just say, hey, you know what, guys? You got me. I'm wrong.
No, I'm not going to, because
the Cy Young is like having the MVP for the NFL is like the Cy Young.
No, because
yes, only a pitcher.
Okay, so hold on. So a pitcher has never won the MVP award and the Cy Young award?
No, I'm saying that.
No?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying how many have?
It happened, once 30 years ago. And it can happen in the NFL probably 30 years ago.
No, it happened not too long ago with Clayton Kershaw. So,
mid-2000s. That's cool. But that's my point. Like, yes, if you have an absolutely outstanding year, McCaffrey's having a very killer year. Yes, he's on a very good team. Tyreek Hill is having a ridiculous. He went down. If he went 2,000 yards receiving, I would make an argument for you. But he's not. He's not getting that. Plus, they're playing now an extra week. So it's a whole extra game these guys are getting. So it's different, man. It really, like, I understand what you're saying, and I'm not really saying that I disagree with you. You know, with having a quarterback be the MVP, it could be Tyreek. It could be, but it's not. They're going to get a different award. Like, Silver Slugger award and this award. And that. It's the same shit in every sport. You just have different types. They're mainly made for the popular guy in school, which is the quarterback. It's the shortstop center fielder that hits 40 home runs. That's what it is. Those are the MVPs. Then they have other awards, so they don't just pretty much fuck everybody over, and makes no sense for them to even try. So that's really what
exactly.
it is. I'm not saying you're wrong in the fact of that it's a quarterback award. I get that. Like, and maybe we could have gotten a position player, but we didn't. And it's not going to happen. That's why they have separate awards. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying.
So,
now, if you could just you guys got me, I was wrong. Just say it for everybody.
No, that'll never
I know you don't want to admit it, but...
Well, I'll tell you who got it wrong was the Pro Bowl votes. The Pro Bowl votes, because there's a lot of people got snubbed. A lot of people got snubbed.
Nobody gives a shit, though. Let's be real.
You might be the only person that cares about Pro Bowl snubs out there.
Yeah.
Because 90% of these guys selected aren't going to play anyway.
Mac Jones was a Pro Bowler. I mean, they're just going to say no, and they're going to go to the next guy and go to the next guy.
Six
like everyone,
quarterbacks got selected, 3 on each side today. Not one of them will play.
And how is CJ Stroud not on that list?
He's going to be on it because
he will.
Hold on. Stop that. How is CJ Stroud not over Patrick Mahomes? He has outperformed him in every dynamic of this league.
His name isn't Patrick Mahomes. It's a popularity contest. The same way that MLB All-Star Game is. It's the same shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't understand why you don't figure this out. Like, Derek Jeter, that year he became a starter for the All-Star Game. The guy batted fucking 190. But it's a popularity contest. So guess what? He gets to fucking start. Other people get snubbed.
But wait
the Pro Bowl, nobody fucking plays. Nobody gives a shit about Pro Bowl.
We just spent the first 19 minutes of this show with Joe arguing us that Lamar shouldn't be the MVP because Tua's stats are better. But you're going to tell me that CJ Stroud should be in the Pro Bowl over Patrick Mahomes, who has thrown for 400 more yards than him, 6 more touchdowns. I mean,
No. You're missing. Billy, I love you because you like to paint the picture the way you want. You're forgetting a glaring. No. What's a glaring number that you're missing, Billy?
Wins.
No. Wins.
Andy Reid.
No. What's that glaring number? What's that word that is initial INT?
I would. Yeah, but you didn't let me finish, and I wasn't finished reading off what I was reading off. The only thing that CJ Stroud has better than Mahomes is Stroud only has 5 interceptions, and Mahomes has thrown 14.
Okay,
so,
I'm gonna bring it back to baseball too. By the way, guys. So Judge hits 50 home runs, but he strikes out 200 times. Do we fucking give a shit?
But you also, wait a minute.
You know what I mean?
So you wanted to timeout though. You want to throw that in my face. You didn't bring up the fact that Tua has 12 interceptions to Lamar's 7. You left that one out.
Yeah,
you're telling me. You're the Van Gogh over there, buddy. So don't tell me I'm painting the picture.
No, because I know I was
Show me paint the fence, bitch.
No. So I only spoke about yards. I never brought up any other. I didn't say touchdowns. You started rattling off everything. I was talking about yards. The only words that came out of my mouth.
That's what we're using now.
No, I was yards. No. I'm just saying that he's trying to rebuttal me
this
because
is pick on Joey night tonight. I love
that's fine. Listen, I don't worry about it. You're gonna get your week next week, Jeff. Don't you worry about it.
Nobody's getting me.
Yeah, no, believe me, I have a fucking panel of things to talk to you about. But no, listen. You can say whatever you want. It's just the logic that I've heard in the last 10 minutes is just as good as the refereeing that was done in the Dallas game the other night against the Lions.
Did you see the thing I posted?
Yeah.
With the Lions, the ref was me, and they had the picture of the lineman going over to the ref to report as eligible, and it says me as the ref, and then it has the guy there saying like my wife yelling at me, just you don't pay attention.
It's so
Great.
bad. It's so bad.
That almost makes it seem like it is fixed because Dan Campbell even went before the game and says, listen, if we have a 2-point conversion at any point, this is the situation. And he literally laid it out for them. And as far as I know, I don't think a right guard can report as eligible. Or they never have. So it's like this dumbest shit in the world. So they definitely fucked that one up 1,000,000%.
Well, regardless even if he did
fucked a lot of people in the over too, by the way.
Yeah, well, even if he did report as eligible, right? It was irrelevant because it was an illegal formation. So the play wouldn't have counted no matter what. So it is what it is, But
now, was it illegal formation because he didn't report eligible?
Because he wasn't covered on the line.
But if he reported as eligible, that's not his fucking problem.
No, correct. But even though he reported as eligible, he can't be covered. So he can't be covered on the line. So the guy who was standing to his left was standing too far in on the line, and it would have made there's so many stupid fucking rules. So many stupid rules. But yeah, his positioning was wrong. That whoever I forgot who it was, needed to step out maybe 2 or 3 more yards to give that space because he covered him basically.
It's like Kadarius Toney being offsides.
Correct.
It's great.
Same. Meanwhile, someone did it the following week, and it was perfectly fine.
Yeah. No, they're calling it more now. They're like, see, Kadarius, we're doing it. We're calling everybody. It's a lot more called now than there was before that play.
They have to figure out what to do with this officiating problem. I mean, these guys they're part-time employees.
They make a lot of money.
They suspended them.
But it's that whole
I know they make a lot of money, but if they're not providing them the training and providing them the necessary education to be better, then you can't fully blame the part-time employee.
No, I agree. But you got to remember, look at Angel Hernandez. That guy's a full-timer.
But guys,
and he's into everything. He still sucks. CB Buckner sucks. So yeah, I do agree. But that whole they showed a bunch of it was like a hit list of that crew, that reffing crew, where they were involved in so many terrible fucking plays. The non-pass interference with the Chiefs a couple weeks ago. That was that crew. There was several, but they put the best hits of this year only, and all the plays they fucked up. And it was it's not sometimes you miss a call here, miss a call there, it's fine, but they were missing big calls, and it's happening a lot.
I think what you're going to see, the inevitable is really going to be in the next
get rid of that crew
bargaining agreement. No, you're going to see the fact that they're going to allow one referee call per game to be challenged like that. One of those calls per game is going to be allowed to be challenged. Where you could go back and they're going to have to look at it, and somebody in New York or Los Angeles, wherever they're situated at that point, is going to say, okay, yes, he is signaling to you, you screwed it up. And that's what it's going to have to.
But they're going to stop because look at that pass interference one, that one lasted 1 year. And they're like, all right, guys, this is wasting too much time. So I mean,
But
I'd like to see that.
I think they should go to the way that college does it. College has a guy up in the booth watching the game, and if they miss something that's egregious, they buzz down to the referee, and ultimately the ref makes the call. But at least the guy upstairs is saying, "Hey, listen, go back and take a look at this play." He could still go back and confirm the call on the field. He doesn't have to necessarily overturn it because he got buzzed.
Well, the worst part is in that game, the Lions game, the referees like reviewed their own call and still fucked it up. Like, it was just funny. Like, I was like, they're actually reviewing like their own call. Like, they were looking at the camera as if it was a challenge play. It was hysterical. I was like, it's so bad. Like,
but you know who's having the most fun with this right now, Jeff, is everyone that claims that sports is fixed. Like, now it's like, oh, this is just part of the script. This is what it is.
Yeah.
This is what, and
the whole
shit
scripting makes me laugh.
No, it does. But when you have something like this happen, it doesn't help.
No, not at all.
It does not help the case.
No, that's what I said earlier before when we started talking about it. I said, I'm like, this seems like it was fixed. Like, it's almost everything pointing in that direction that it's fixed. It's not, something I'd like to deal with, but I can't stand those people that always think everything's fixed and this is fixed and that's fixed. Look, bad calls are made. Yes, at some points, yes, some refs might be getting some cash in the pocket. I don't know. But it's like that one NBA ref that they made the movie about. Like, he was shaving. He was doing it. He was blatantly making stupid calls.
Steve Javie, right?
Was that what it was?
Yeah, I think it was Steve Javie.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I understand it can happen from time to time, and that it is kind of shitty that it's the same crew that keeps fucking up.
Right. It just looks that makes it look even worse.
Just that crew. Maybe that crew's into something. I don't know. Maybe they're in with the mafia. I don't know. I can't make any accusations.
Yeah, here we go. The referees are with the mafia. The San Diego Padres are run by the cartel.
I have a lot of theories.
Well, what's
next? Look what happened. The Padres, they spent all this money, and all of a sudden, nothing went right for them. And what happened? The owner died. He just dropped.
He slept with the fishes.
So yeah, I'm gonna stick with that one. I still think it's run by the cartel. But yeah, no. As for the refs, I mean, yeah, maybe they're in with the mafia. I don't know. I'm not here to make accusations. I'm just here to point out the facts, and the facts are they're the worst crew so far. Probably in past years, but at least this year, the worst. Hands down, the worst. So
it's going to get interesting. Well, one day these refs better be on their toes is this coming weekend, because it's a big week 18, boys.
It's huge.
Starting off Saturday night, Joe's Colts and the Texans.
Now, what do the Colts need to? They need help, or they just got to win and they're in? How does it work?
Win and they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Win and the Jags lost, they win the division.
And they get a home field game.
Yep.
Yes.
And the Jags aren't looking very good. Not looking
hot.
would
be at the Jags
not looking hot.
So the Jags actually need to win Sunday, because if they lose, it's not an automatic spot. They would actually need help to get into the playoffs.
Do we know if Trevor Lawrence is playing?
He supposedly he is trying to give it a go, but it looks like what's his face is gonna
CJ Beathard.
CJ Beathard is gonna start again. I mean, he didn't look terrible. You're gonna have to. They have to lean on Etienne. They have to lean on.
Well, their defense has been kind of shitty. Their defense in the beginning of the season was pretty fucking good. Like they were actually like they looked like a legit team.
Right.
And
I mean,
now it's just everything's falling apart. Like
they're going into Tennessee. This is a game you could win with a backup quarterback. So they got to figure it out. Or Joe's right. They could be going home.
I don't know. I trust Vrabel's the kind of guy that.
I was just gonna say
he's that kind of coach, man.
Yeah, he doesn't
Miami,
give up.
And I said the same thing. I said, "Fucking Vrabel, man. I'm telling you, it's that guy. Something about that guy. I don't know what the hell he's doing or how he's pumping these dudes up, but."
I don't doubt him at all, but there's so many big matchups this weekend. We have that game. We have Jacksonville and Tennessee. We have Houston and Indianapolis. But I know we've talked about this before, but we have to mention it. this could be Bill Belichick's last game coaching the New England Patriots, and it's
That could be.
against
It
all
is.
teams, the New York Jets.
Oh, not it could be, Billy. It is his last game.
Yeah, he's gonna go out like never losing it to the Jets. So that's nice.
Well, two people are going to be leaving their current teams in that game. Zach Wilson and actually three: Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, and Bill Belichick. All exit stage left after that game.
I mean, nothing's been official yet with Belichick, but obviously all the signs are there.
I don't know if Belichick goes. I think there's a Mac Jones could, even if he stays as a backup quarterback, he could still be like he's still in the contract.
I think it's a lot going on with Mac and that whole Patriots, even the whole team itself. I don't think they're getting along.
Belichick leaves, and a lot of that animosity goes with it. I mean, I think Mac Jones is your backup quarterback, and we've seen this year how important the backup quarterback is.
I don't think him and the team are meshing. I think it's one of those things. I think they all wanted what's his face to was it Cunningham? They wanted him to get the shot. They didn't want Zappy. They didn't want they definitely don't like Mac. But I know that's a big problem. And if he's not getting along with all of his teammates, then what the fuck are we doing? You know, I mean, he's got to get out
seriously. I mean, it's bad. So I mean, guys, really quick, we're going through the week 18 schedule. Jeff, I know your answer already, so I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to ask you.
What the biggest game?
And that I wouldn't say the biggest game, because the biggest game is obvious. There's a reason they put it in the 8 o'clock, right? Because that's really, you know.
Well, the reason that is obviously it's for the East, the AFC East. If Miami wins, they win, and they win the second seed. If Buffalo wins, they get the second seed. If Buffalo loses, they can go from either winning division and getting a 2 seed or not being in the playoffs at all.
Correct.
Which is so fucking wild.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the way it goes. And they got hot at the right time, which kind of scares me. But the only saving grace I have is they're in Miami, and they play very good in Miami. Very good.
But that you got a lot of injuries, man. Chubb
Waddle's apparently supposedly coming back, and I believe Jerome Baker should be back just in time. And I'm just gonna say something really quick because it's just really pissing me off. Why was Bradley Chubb still in the game? There was no reason for any of his stars to be in that game.
That's what I was just gonna say.
We have a big game next week. There is no reason. I love McDaniel. I think he's an amazing coach, and I'm not gonna hold it against him. He's done a lot of things right, and one thing wrong. So I'm not gonna hold him accountable so much. Well, I gotta hold him accountable. I'm not gonna be upset about it because he's done so many right things. He just fucked up one thing. He wanted his players to play, and he should have been in there, but it happened. Yeah, I mean, for someone to say the strength and conditioning coach needs to be fired is such a. I saw someone write that on Twitter, and I literally was gonna lose my fucking mind. I didn't. I just decided to put my phone down. But this is some of these injuries you can't avoid. Like Jalen Phillips was a victim of MetLife Stadium, that turf. Then you have Bradley Chubb. It was just a freak accident. He shouldn't have been in there. Is the whole thing. It's not the strength and conditioning coach. It was just a bad coaching decision. That's all that is. Tua going down with concussions in the last year. It's been healthy the whole year. It's been going great, but again, it's a lot of injuries that you can't prepare for. You can't do anything for. Like one guy popped his Achilles. Connor Williams, I believe it was, our center, popped his Achilles. Nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. That's just freak shit that happens. If it was constantly hamstrings, if it was constantly quads, if it was constantly that shit, then fine. But those kind of things you can't prepare for. Like, honestly, I was walking in work today, and I swear to God, my knee kind of was moving, and I was like, oh shit, here we go. I bet you I'm going to pop an ACL any minute now. Just by the way it was hurting when I was walking, I was like, I'm fucked. I can't blame anybody for that. It's just, it's not a strength conditioning thing. It's me I'm just fucking old. But he should have been on the field. I agree with that. We lost 2 of our better pass rushers, especially this year. Jalen Phillips was having a fucking career year. Bradley Chubb was basically, I wouldn't say comeback player of the year, but I mean, he was nothing, and he just started balling out like he's back in Denver. So It sucks to lose those guys. Xavier Howard broke his foot, so who knows what's happening with that? I mean, I don't even know. I don't know. We're hurt. We're not down. That's what I have to remember.
It's definitely gonna be an interesting one. And the NFL did get the scheduling right for Week 18. I gotta say,
yeah.
The two biggest games are their two 8:00 games: Houston and Indianapolis on Saturday, and Buffalo at Miami on Sunday. So you got to give them credit where it's due. They usually do get these things right, and they did it again.
I would have rather them flex out Packers and Vikings for Sunday Night Football and giving it to Miami, Baltimore. And then if that happened, then make them the 4:25 whatever game. I mean, you probably couldn't make them the 8:20 the 8:00 game, Sunday night game, 2 weeks in a row. I mean, maybe you could. I don't really know how that works, but
I mean, Jeff,
maybe that's why they didn't do it. I don't know.
If both of our teams win, you know that we meet round one.
If you win the division, we wouldn't.
No, if we win the division, we wouldn't. If we go in as the 7th seed and you guys win,
yes,
our first matchup would be us
staring at that schedule forever. So excited.
How's this for a playoff prediction? The Colts are going to win. The Dolphins are not. The Dolphins are going to go into. The Dolphins are going to go into Kansas City in the wild card round, and they're going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs in Kansas City.
I don't know if I would want that. What I would want, because they do owe Kansas City a real ass kicking after they went to Germany and got kind of screwed on a bad fucking snap at the end of the game. But I don't want to do that because I don't to lose against Buffalo this week. All we're going to hear is about the fraud. I can't take it anymore. It does get under my skin.
I 100% understand why you wouldn't want to lose.
Right,
Nobody's going to want to lose.
No, but what I'm saying is I'd prefer them to beat Buffalo's to say, yes, we can fuck up good teams too. Suck my dick. Move along. And then I want more home field advantage for them because they are very good at home. The 2nd seed would at least give them home field till, the AFC Championship game?
Mm-hmm.
And, that's how I would want it. I mean, I'll take what I can get. If Miami can get to the AFC Championship game this year, I don't care how it happens. I just prefer it if they won. Just the way we could just say, we can beat a good team. That's all I want. I don't want to deal with the fraud fucking talk for the next week and a half, 2 weeks. I can't do that. I can't. I can't take it anymore.
So
it hurts my soul.
I was online and guy did a Madden. He simulated the scenarios I don't know. He said 1,000 times, whatever.
For what
for the playoffs?
Okay.
So the 1 seed on both sides, pretty apparent: Ravens, Niners. 2 seeds: Dolphins, Cowboys. 3 seeds: Chiefs, Lions. 4 seed: Jags and the Bucks. 5th seed is on the 5, 6, 7 on the AFC side is going to be the Browns, the Bills, and the Colts. On the NFC side, it's going to be the Eagles, the Rams, and the Packers. So he actually then went on to simulate the playoffs. Round 1, he's got the Colts beating the Dolphins, the Bills beating the Chiefs, the Browns beating the Jags.
So this is not realistic.
the Eagles beating the Bucks, the Rams beating the Lions, and the Packers beating the Cowboys beating the Packers.
I gotta say, the Rams are a team that I'm gonna look out for in the playoffs.
I've been saying it for weeks. They have a run game. Their defense is playing better, and
with
Stafford
Williams
knows how to win.
Back, that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
Not that bad.
No, they're not. In the divisional round, they got the Ravens beating the Browns 34-24. They have the Bills beating the Colts 26-20. Niners beat the Eagles 33-19, and the Cowboys beat the Rams 28-17. In the championship games, the Ravens beat the Bills 28-27, and the Cowboys go into San Francisco and beat the Niners 35-30. For the Super Bowl, the Dallas Cowboys beat the Baltimore Ravens 37-30.
Now, did you see how they noticed how they changed the color scheme up a bit?
Yep.
And it's showing Cowboys now.
Yep.
Somebody was telling me that the other day, and I was like, they're saying it up. They're saying it up for the Cowboys. I was like, oh Christ! Cowboys have a good team. I don't want to listen to Cowboy fans at all. I just don't.
No, that'll be an unbearable 2 weeks.
Don't want to listen to them.
But all right, guys, listen.
Because then I got to hear about the Lakers and the Yankees and.
But
who
hold
else
on,
do they like?
guys, haven't they suffered enough? It's almost.
I don't give a shit.
It's almost 30 years since they've won a championship.
Okay, I'm going on 50, over 50.
I get it, yeah, but you guys have the undefeated season to hang your hat on. But you also don't go into every season. The difference is this, right?
We them boys.
Yeah, we them boys. This is our year. We're gonna win. Blah blah blah. Like that's every year, right? So that's what I think makes Cowboys fans a little bit more unbearable. Is the unrealistic expectations sometimes that like they're really bad and be like, no, we're gonna win it this year. I'm like, no, you're not. You're gonna win 4 games.
Yeah, that is true. I don't want them to win. I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. But I'm also not an NFC East guy. Like I know, like Billy's a Giants fan. There's no way he wants to deal with that. And our group would be.
I mean, what would be worse?
It would be. I wouldn't be able to go in there anymore. We'd be done.
Well, what would be worse? Cowboys or Eagles?
The Cowboys would be far worse.
Eagles, I don't care because then they go right to baseball and they have the Phillies, so they kind of like they'll be pumped about it, but then they just they'll stop. Dallas fans don't have shit. They get the Cowboys. And the Yankees, and the Yankees don't win anything.
The Eagles fans will just go destroy their own city, and
Yeah, they did grease up light poles just so these fucking sick bastards don't like climb the fucking poles. Exactly. And it still didn't matter that year.
Listen, Philadelphia sports has been on a run. Like they've had a very good run.
Absolutely, Boston had that kind of run.
Yep,
same kind of thing. When is New York going to get something like?
I know we need something. It's not going to be the Knicks, apparently.
Can't even get in the fucking playoffs for Christ's sake. Just give me something to root for.
Going into
the Yankees, I'm not rooting for the Yankees. I'm just telling you right now. I mean, my New York team. Don't care about yours. We knew that. We knew that. So I'm not. I don't want to listen to that either. And I don't. And for the record, I don't expect the Mets to do much damage this year. I just want them to compete and get everybody going, like all the prospects that they picked up last year. I just want them to.
Jeff, save the baseball
start
for
progressing.
Next week, buddy.
That's all I want.
Jeff,
I have other things for the off season, but I'm gonna save that for next week. Everything I want. Actually, before we move on to anything else, I think I want to do something. I was listening to another podcast today, and they do a Mount Rushmore of every team. So you have to pick up the 4 best players in franchise history. I think I want to do that on our page, and every day have Mount Rushmore, and then pick a team, and I want everybody's ideas of their top 4.
I thought you meant the top 4 people. I thought you meant the top 4 people in there. I was going to say we're going to call it Mount Moron.
No. The top 4, the first team I'll do is like the Astros. So then you could have like Nolan Ryan, Mike Scott. You know what I mean? Like you just pick it doesn't matter. Just pick any 4 best of the franchise. I'm actually curious to see who. Everyone's different ideas of who they're best. Like on the podcast I was listening to today, I know it doesn't matter what it is. Baseball's dead. It's with Carabas and Yankees, and that was pretty tough. The last 3 times they've done it, it was the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Yankees. Arguably the 3 hardest franchises to really pick just 4.
Most of the time, people are going to go based off of when they've watched it.
Recency bias, really.
Yes, it's
yeah, but like, I don't want them to do that. Like, I know you haven't seen some of these people play, but we all know. You know what I mean? Like, there was one on the Yankees list. They had, Carabas. He's like me. I don't like Babe Ruth. He does not like Babe Ruth. We agree in that aspect. He kept his off. He kept no Babe Ruth on his. But most of them had like Gehrig, Mantle, DiMaggio, and Jeter. Some people didn't have Jeter. They put Mo instead. Some people didn't have either of them there, and they put Yogi Berra. You know what I mean? Like, so it is interesting to see like who everyone's different variety of who they think the best four of the franchises are.
Who would your Mount
I kind of want to do
Rushmore
that
be?
leading up into the baseball season. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Well, I mean, let's who would be your four?
What for the Mets?
Yeah,
I'm
curious.
Obviously, Seaver would be there.
I was gonna say if you don't include him, you
No, he's
suffer
got to be
for that.
there.
I feel like
kinda
your four
tough.
should be. See, for me, as a non-Mets fan, if you told me I had to make a Mount Rushmore, I have 3 pitchers and 1 hitter. I'm gonna have Seaver, I'm gonna have DeGrom, I'm gonna have Doc, and I'm gonna have Piazza. Or Piazza,
that's weird.
Piazza or Wright. That's who I would flip.
That's what I have. Wright. I would probably have Wright in there. Obviously, cut short season. Career. Won't make the Hall of Fame, unfortunately, but he just injuries really got to him. But his numbers were there when he was healthy. Neither here nor there. But I mean, even like a Keith Hernandez, a Gary Carter, like it's hard to lead them off. Obviously, they weren't like lifelong Mets, but they had a huge impact on their
Correct.
On the franchise. So it's tough. It's something that I would need to really think about, and that's why I want to kind of like put something up and have everyone's ideas. It's hard to like just off the top of your head just go, because you think like the Yankee ones, like it's pretty similar. I would probably have Mantle, Gehrig. I mean, I feel like DiMaggio would have to be in there, right? And then it's a toss-up. I mean, you have Jeter, you have Rivera, who's the only Hall of Famer unanimous decision, right? So it's hard to keep him off. He was literally the best at his position of all time. It's hard to keep him off that kind of list. But again, who do you take off? You know what I mean? Like it's tough. I mean, the Dodgers were tough.
Yankees for me would probably be DiMaggio, Gehrig, Berra, Mo. That would be my 4.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's tough, but they're interchangeable. You can literally use anyone you want. It's very interchangeable.
And I'm a huge Jeter fan. I'm not, I think he's deserving of the accolades he does. Listen,
But who do you take off? That's the whole thing.
That's the problem.
So Some
can't,
franchises are really hard.
Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, when you get to like the Arizona Diamondbacks, that's gonna be a real quick. Everyone's gonna probably have the
Schilling,
same.
Randy Johnson.
Yeah, Brandon Webb and Corbin Carroll.
No, I put Luis Gonzalez in there.
Right.
Yeah. What about you, Billy? Yankees. It's tough, right?
Berra, Mo, Mantle, and Joe D.
I'm kind of crazy. It's crazy how everyone's thinking like Yogi Berra.
10 championships.
I understand that. But Robert Ory has what, 5, 6? He's not.
But 10 championships, quarter
granted,
perfect
like
game in the World Series. But he's got a lot of.
But like I said, also with Yogi is the guy was an MVP 3. So again, it's. I'm not saying not put him on, but like it's so interchangeable, and people will get offended. Well, everyone gets offended nowadays. Everyone's a pussy, but it's people will be like, "How do you leave this person off? How do you leave it?" Because you have a fucking franchise with a bunch of good fucking players. It's hard to.
It's everything's.
What about Whitey Ford? Whitey Ford can't be on there on somebody's.
Goose Gossage.
Absolutely.
It's you have all these guys.
What about if you? All right, so the Dodgers, they put on Vin Scully. I can't say no to that. So what if the Bob Shepard?
Wow, love that voice.
You know what I mean? Like he's the voice of the Yankees.
There is no voice like Bob Shepard.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, do you put him on the Mount Rushmore?
I didn't even think of that.
You could.
Do you put George Steinbrenner?
You could. Yeah, of course you can. You can put whoever the fuck you want on there as long as they played. But played or been in the organization for whatever reason. Brian Cashman could technically be on there if you really want to, but
I don't know why you would.
Yeah. I didn't mean to get off track and go into that.
No, I think
I do want to do that on the page that we have.
I think that's actually like an awesome concept, because it's like it's fun, and it's always like it's always great to see.
Well, it's fun until it's not, where we are.
Well, yeah.
But I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I think that'd be fun.
It'll last about 36 seconds.
How many weeks before opening day?
12.
So I could probably do like 3 a week. to lead up into the season, right?
Yeah.
Opening day is March 28th. So you have, you got about 12 weeks.
About 13, 14 weeks. So
Yeah.
yeah, I could probably do 2 a week, and then towards the end of the season, I could probably do more, like do every other day. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do twice a week.
Because you know what I would do? I would do the shit teams first. Get them out of the way because those are going to be quick.
Order.
Yeah, well, you could do that too. I mean, just because some teams, just like we said, they're not going to have. It's not going to be a long lineage of.
No. But I think I might throw in the Expos too. So I'll have the Nationals and the Expos.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's not necessarily true because you go back to a team like the Pirates. Like back in the day, there's some Pirates. Yeah.
Oh, no, listen.
Walker.
I'm talking about I'm talking about franchises that haven't been around.
Yeah,
not like a team like
the Rockies,
National,
like you mean, like the Rockies,
like the
Marlins.
Rockies, the Marlins,
it's
the
really
Marlins.
Diamondbacks.
Can get though. Miguel Cabrera could be on. You could probably find some really good players on there.
Yeah,
they always had really good players, and then they just fucking
the Marlins. It's really honestly the Rockies to me because even the Marlins, you could put Miguel Cabrera. You could put a decent team of Marlins.
Rockies, you could do Andres Galarraga,
Larry
Walker, Todd
Pedro.
Helton. Can't leave out Todd Helton.
Randy
He should
Johnson.
be in the Hall of Fame.
Trevor Story.
Yeah, you could probably do Trevor Story.
Arenado.
Charlie Blackmon. These are just guys who kind of are the face of the Rockies.
Right.
I think Rockies, you think of these guys.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. It'll be fun.
Now, for me, not to go off topic, but I just saw a random stat today, just to
fuck it, man. We're going rogue today. I don't give a shit. We're going fucking rogue.
Did you know that the last time, speaking in baseball, this is the last we're going to talk about baseball because we still got a lot to talk about. You know who the last player to play a full 162 game schedule is?
Juan Pierre.
All right, so you saw it as well.
I sure did. Wouldn't have known that.
In 2004. It's been 20 years since
Juan
a
Pierre
player
would probably be on the Marlins because I feel like you would have to.
Yeah, 100%.
He was their best player, kind of, sort of, for like a while.
He was so good. I used to love how, like in MLB, MVP baseball, he was one of my favorite players to use because he was like
99
slap
speed
hitter and 99 speed and just flies.
Oh God! But so, just to jump into our next topic, I wanted to talk about this a little bit. Was how about Big Blue?
Did you say the last guy to play 162 games?
Start and
finish.
Start and finish 162 game schedule.
Like didn't come out like the 8th inning or taking a rest.
Played all 162 full games was Juan Pierre.
Yeah. So I'm happy to see Mr. Harbaugh get his redemption. Fuck Bama. Fuck Ohio State. Fuck Texas, honestly. Fuck them. They cost me a little bit. But it was a pretty good bowl game overall. I mean, the Rose Bowl was fantastic. Couldn't have asked for a better ending there. It didn't matter who won, but just having that overtime and
I think both games
coming down to like the 2-yard line. I mean, that was
the two playoff games and the LSU game were the 3 best football games played last weekend.
Correct. Yeah.
It was.
Well, we were sweating that LSU game. We were sweating that.
Jesus, but like a couple things. Georgia, beat the brakes off of FSU.
Yeah, but FSU team. Let's be real.
Yeah, but you know what?
That was all fresh.
But you know what, Jeff? That's fucking bullshit. Okay? Because
How?
No, I'm going to tell you why. Because all leading up to that game, you kept talking about how you were robbed, you were this, you were that, blah 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 blah. Fine. You know what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to come out full battalion and fucking go right after Georgia and kick their dick in and say, you know what? Fuck you. We were supposed to be in here. We took down your big dog. And look at us now.
I think they sat out for a reason. I don't.
You know what though? You're right. But you know what the problem is? the college kids who don't have the mature enough mentality for that chose to walk away, and some chose to sit out. And that's why, hopefully next year, with the 12-game playoff, we'll see a lot less of this. But they've destroyed majority of bowl games now because of what they're allowing to go on. The transfer portal should not open up till after bowl season. It's completely ridiculous what they've done to these games.
It's bad. They're all like exhibitions.
Sitting out because you're going to the NFL draft, understandable. I get it. It's your money. It's your career. I don't really ever argue that, and I never get upset about that. But we have spoke about that, and I even said the same thing, Billy. The transfer portal, you cannot open that up until after the bowl season because
it shouldn't be going on.
It's just you can't do that, man. Like it's like opening up free agency before the season's over.
And I don't understand. First of all, you know where you're gonna start seeing backlash on that is from the places that are paying the sponsors who are paying millions of dollars to have their names on what turns out to be a crap game because nobody's playing in it. And that you're going to see these bigger sponsors, they got weight, trust me. They're going to have
100%.
something to say about this process.
I mean, like, look, for argument's sake, right? Marvin Harrison wasn't ruled out of the game until 7 minutes before the game started because he didn't want to be a distraction to his team. Okay, but you just let your team go out there and get fucking tit-fucked. Okay?
Dude, and you know what's even worse? Marvin Harrison still hasn't officially declared for the NFL draft. And he legitimately, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing yet, but I'm just not going to play. That's disgusting, to be honest.
Who I have, and you know what?
Father would be upset.
Listen, you know what? No, fuck that. You know who I have all the respect in the world for? Bo Nix. Bo Nix went out and said, I am not going out as a loser. I'm going out as a winner.
He picked up his draft stock right through the roof.
He went out. He had a great game against Liberty, and then it was a class move by the coach by letting him go in to give him the curtain call to come off the field. But, like, that's how it's supposed to be. You're in college. Like, you play the fucking game. The NIL money, like, all this shit has ruined the game because now you're giving financial security to a lot of kids that can't they're not mature enough to make these decisions, at this point.
And it makes it even more disgusting because you're looking at guys like, all right, you can see a kid and go, I'm sitting out because, I'm getting ready for the draft. I don't want to take the chance. I can end up with nothing. You've got some of these kids that over the last 2-3 years that these NIL has been around have made millions, and they're pulling this. It's really
because they're not going. They're making more money now.
It's really
the
screwed
NIL.
up what you're doing to your team and to the school. This school has paid for you to have an education. They've given you scholarships that have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, and you walk out on them before your last game. Nah,
most of them are making more money in college than they would if they were the pros.
Yeah.
So why the fuck would they? I'd be like, fuck that. I'm gonna stay here.
I don't think it's right. I'm sorry. I think
I
they
agree
should
with you.
Play every game. If they are healthy enough to play, they should be out there.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think
they're adults. Can't tell them what to fucking do. I mean, can't force it.
But you know what, Jeff? You're still okay. Technically, if they wanted to go down this rabbit hole, okay. Marvin Harrison is still at the University of Ohio State on a full scholarship.
Mm-hmm.
The scholarship is to play football.
And if they just get rid of him, he'll be like, great, I'm going to the NFL. I'm going to be top 3 picks, so I don't give a shit. I know what you're saying. I'm just telling you how the response is going to be. And that's how it is. That's why they don't give a shit.
That's where the maturity level comes in because they owe this to the school. And
you would think that his father would be the one to kind of like tell him, like, hey, dude, like, come on, be a man. This is how this is how we do it in football. Like, the fact that he's pulling that, I don't know if seniors kind of leading that charge. I don't know. At the end of the day, they're their own adults. They make their own decisions. I get it, but there's nothing we can really do about it because you can't take away the NIL money anymore. Like, they already gave it to them. How do you take that away from them? You know what I mean? Like, you can't. but most of them are making more money, especially like women's college basketball. Dude, they'll never make that kind of money in WNBA if they played for 20 straight fucking years. They couldn't accumulate that kind of money that some of them are getting.
Caitlin Clark is crushing it right now.
Jesus.
Exactly. But I mean, you look at what teams like Florida State and Ohio State went through with the transfer portal, plus the people sitting out. It's ridiculous. Like, something needs to change. And the number one on the top of that list has to be the transfer portal should not start till after the season. Like, I see what happened. Alabama today, 9 kids entered the transfer portal. They did it after the season. I have no issue with that at all. It's there. They played. Yeah, I know they were they had a chance to go for the championship. That's why they did it. That's the reality. Yeah. But it was done properly. And that should be okay. You should not be allowed to enter a transfer portal until your season is over.
But I think that's where the playoffs are going to, like the 12-team playoffs that they're going to do. Yeah. 12 or 10? 12.
12.
The thing that's going to be good about that is none of them are going to opt out, most likely, because they all have a chance to win. So you're going to get more participation.
I think the 2 rules, like you guys said, I think there should be 2 rule changes. I think that the transfer portal, like you said, I
have a few rules I want to change in college.
Well, yeah, 100%. There's actually 2 that I want to bring up.
Okay.
But the transfer portal,
which we all agree on.
Which you all agree on. And I also think you can't declare for the draft until the college football season is over. Because I think a lot of these kids are declaring.
Yeah, that's right.
I think they're declaring early. But as far as a rule, and I think a rule that's hurting the college game, because especially for these kids that are, listen, not all of them make it to the NFL, but for the kids that do make it to the NFL, this stupid fucking rule that in college, that if you go to the ground, you're down without being touched, has to stop. There was a play during that Michigan game where it was a low snap and J.J. McCarthy fell forward on the ball. He had plenty of time to get up,
I remember that
reset himself, and try to make a play. Instead, immediately ruled down that, dude, stop making the game soft. Like, it's bad enough that you do the 1 foot and all this other shit.
That's one rule I want to change.
You have so many rules, and then you wonder why there's such a learning curve for some of these kids when they're coming into the NFL, because the game gets so much faster for them in the NFL, and now they have to learn how to play the game a completely different way.
And it just puts them right back a notch. Now, the other rule, all those those are part of my rule changes. The other one is, with 2 minutes left, first down, stopping the clock, fuck that shit. We got to be men, all right? Let the boys go out there and let the boys.
Yeah, that's a huge problem of where you find a lot of these young quarterbacks can't manage a clock because
and I hate it. I hate it. They need to definitely do that. I think that's one rule I always really didn't like. Their overtime rules I like, all that shit is fine, but the whole first down with 2 minutes left in the game, and then every time you get a first down, clock stops. We got to get the boys ready for the NFL, man. We can't. You can't be doing that. I hate that. I hate it.
But
it's not the better up-tempo, baby.
Listen, both games were phenomenal.
They're really good. Another guy, Penix.
Yeah.
Penix is another guy. Stock draft, way up.
Absolutely.
Way up.
That one pass.
I think he should be the number 1 quarterback taken.
That one pass he put on Odunze was sick.
Yeah.
He just dropped it right in the bucket. Like, you couldn't have put that pass. You know what pass that reminded me of? And I'll give. Hold on. What time is it? 10, 11 p.m. Billy, write this down in your book.
Say something nice about Tua.
I know where he's going.
That pass reminded me of the miracle pass that Eli Manning threw to Mario Manningham in the Super Bowl.
Yep, I knew where you were going.
But I think Penix is now. He should be the
most
first
accurate ball out of all of them.
He should be the first quarterback taken in the draft. I think he's that good. I still think he won't. Obviously, I think Caleb's going to be the first quarterback taken, but Penix definitely, like, his stock draft went very high. He just jumped a bunch of people. A bunch.
Yeah. To me, Penix brought himself from a possible end of the first round to definitely towards the upper middle
Top
of
10.
the first round.
Top 10. Billy, you Giants have that pick. Do you take Penix?
I would like to,
Mm-hmm.
but Penix is useless to me if we don't improve our right tackle. I do not want Penix with Andrew Thomas protecting his blind side because it ain't gonna happen.
Wasn't Andrew Thomas? Didn't he get? I thought he didn't he get
Nope.
better since he came up?
Nope.
He regressed, or he just
So
hasn't been good at all?
I just pulled up.
No,
CBS.
excuse me. I just said Andrew Thomas because I'm half asleep. I meant Evan Neal. My
Oh,
apologies.
okay, fair enough. Fair
My-
enough.
I was
my
going to say, Andrew
apologies.
Thomas is very good.
Andrew Thomas
No,
was
and
I know he had a
Andrew
rough
Thomas is
start, but I
also-
thought he was
yeah.
pretty good overall.
Sorry, it's been a rough back to work week. I totally just fumbled that name. My
It's all right.
apologies.
We're allowed
It
one.
was
We're allowed one.
All
Joe-
right.
Evan Neal.
Joe
I do
started
not
off
want-
the whole thing saying that Lamar Jackson is shit, basically. Your words, not mine. It's basically what you said. So don't worry, Billy. It's okay. You can have one.
Yeah, we're allowed. We're all allowed to be,
Yeah.
Give me a
asked.
good. Give me a
I'm
good
still
right
perfect,
tackle.
but that's not.
All right.
It's not.
So,
It's not for me. But I am still perfect.
anyway, so I just pulled up CBS Sports. They just updated their mock draft as of 2 hours ago. Pick 1, round 1. The New York Giants and the Chicago Bears have made a trade. The Giants take Caleb Williams.
He wants to go to New York too. I think Caleb.
Everything shows the
And
New
I'm
York.
pretty sure Chicago is they're selling that pick. As long as they
listen,
can get Marvin Harrison, they're selling that pick.
Every draft I have seen thus far has the New York Giants trading with whoever is the first pick, which is going to be Carolina or whatever. Pick number 2, Washington gets Drake May.
Right.
Pick 3, the Patriots get Jaden Daniels. Pick 4, Arizona Cardinals take Marvin Harrison. Pick 5, which would be the pick that they get from the New York Giants. They get the kid Latu from UCLA. Scrolling down just to see if there's any
They have
Bears.
2 picks. Yeah, they have 2
Yep,
picks.
and then they would have the 10th pick, which they would take Malik Neighbors.
Okay.
Romeo.
If they can get themselves in position to get like Brock Bowers, I think Justin Fields would like that.
So Romeo Odunze goes 11th to the Raiders. Michael Penix goes 12th to the Vikings. Brock Bowers goes to the Saints with the 13th pick. And like you were just saying before, his draft capital went way up. Bo Nix is now a first-round draft pick. Pick 14 to the Broncos. I'm just looking to see if there's anyone else.
Now, Penix and Bo Nix, both older seniors, right?
Correct. They
Now,
would be older than the current draft class. And it's funny because it's funny that you say that because I just read a tweet how they were saying how that Bo Nix, Penix are all older than the last year's class.
Mhm.
And they were like, don't think that, they're better than those guys. It's something to the lines of that, like these guys
let me ask you
redshirted
this.
themselves. Yeah.
So we have Bo Nix, right? I was having a great season. We were just talking about Penix having a great season. Now they're older. Now, are they good because they're good? Or are they good because they're playing against 19-year-olds? They're playing against people that are 6 years younger. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only question I have. Now, it looks like they're good,
No,
but
I mean,
that's the only thing. Like, are they good
if
because
you
they're playing
watch-
against little men, little boys?
if you
or...
watch Penix throw the ball and the accuracy he has on his passes, that's because he's
But
good.
again,
It's
he's playing against young kids.
but
That
he's still.
They were
his-
freshmen in high school, and he was, throwing passes to fucking.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like,
so Billy, maybe the question that Jeff wants to ask is this: are these kids good, or if these kids were in last year's draft class, would we still be talking about Caleb Williams?
we didn't really hear about him last year. We knew that they were okay, but I think Bo Nix was what, Auburn last year.
Yeah, he transferred to Oregon.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like I mean, I don't know. I mean, I just don't know if they're. There's a good chance they are good. I just put that question up because I was just curious. Do we think it's because they're fucking 6 years older than some of the players out there, or
Nah, I think they're good, and I think
you're playing with a middle schooler? Like
I
it's kind
think
of like
the
that.
scouts see that they're good because I mean, I don't think they'd be up there over guys
Scouts
like.
thought that Mac Jones was good, so I don't really trust anybody. Sometimes it's the system. I get it. Sometimes it's the system.
Mac Jones with a real offensive coordinator was good, and I think the jury's still out on Mac Jones. I'm not saying he's ever going to be great.
I'm good with him. I'm pretty much.
I'm not saying he's ever going to be great. I'm saying
I don't think he's gonna be good.
Who?
Mac Jones.
No.
Yeah, his ceiling I think is like below average. I think it's a ceiling because if you watch some of the passes he was throwing, dude, it was so fucking bad. He got the yips, and it was fucking bad.
Let's hold on.
I actually felt bad for the fucking guy. I felt bad for him.
But let's also look at it this too, right, guys? He has his best weapon is Hunter Henry.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, same thing with Tom Brady. Tom Brady didn't fucking have anybody.
Yeah, but Tom Brady had.
That's not true.
No. Tom Brady. No. Tom Brady had cable.
Yeah.
No, listen.
Take out Randy Moss. Go ahead, take out Randy Moss.
Okay.
Or Julian Edelman, or Wes Welker, or Gronkowski, or the convict, or the dead convict.
Stop it. Wes Welker was on Miami. Wes Welker was shit. Okay? He wasn't good. Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, he made guys good. That's what they did. That's what made them the GOATs, I don't know.
Yeah, but I still say right now, Wes Welker's better than anyone on that Patriot roster.
Oh, by a wide margin.
The ones that are now? Devontae Parker, when healthy, Devontae Parker, hands down, is that guy catches fucking everything.
The when healthy is the biggest issue with Devontae Parker, has been for years.
Yeah, but he catches fucking everything that goes to him. And he's been fairly healthy all year, considering. On Miami, he sucked. He was just always fucking hurt. But there's no, you can't tell me that, like, you know, Edelman or whatever, like, these guys can go to other teams. They didn't want to go to the teams. Why? Because they knew if they went somewhere else, they're probably going to be that good. Gronk would always follow Brady. Probably because Brady wanted him too, but that's my whole point. Like, I'm not saying these guys are shit, but they definitely were a product of Tom Brady. That's a fact. Like, it's an absolute fact. He created receivers. Peyton Manning, maybe, you know, who knows if Marvin Harrison, if Reggie Wayne, if these guys were going to be good without him. But look what he used to do with Peyton Manning used to do with all the tight ends. Dallas Clark. Who's the other guy? They had Dallas Clark and they had the other guy. Who's the other guy? Bless you.
What happened? I'm sorry.
He was on the Colts, Joe.
I didn't hear your question. I'm sorry.
The tight ends. You had Dallas Clark. Who was the other tight end that he created? Either way, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I think
and then these guys.
I think it was just Dallas.
No, there was another guy too. I forgot who it was.
There was a couple like little like fly-by nights, but no one was as
but then they
Dallas.
got big contracts and they went somewhere else and they were dog shit.
Oh, I mean,
but that's my point. Like, sometimes quarterbacks make a thing.
Discredit anything Manning and
then
Brady did, and they
asked me
made
how Bailey Zappi was able to make shit work there. You know what I mean? Like, it's just I'm telling you, Mac Jones is not that good.
You're talking about Marcus Pollard.
No, am I? No, I'll find him. It may have been in Denver.
Because Marcus Pollard was the second best.
No, it may have been with Denver that he created. Or he would just go places and.
Or are you talking about Jack Doyle?
No, not Jack.
No, Jack Doyle was more Andrew Luck.
Yeah, I'll find it.
You know, it is funny though. Getting back into college, we were all yelling on New Year's Day about how bad the LSU defense was. Brian Kelly fired his entire defensive coaching staff today.
I almost fired Brian Kelly.
Yeah, I almost drove down to
halftime. I told you guys I wanted to get rid of this fuck.
Oh,
He fired his defensive coordinator, his defensive line coach, his safeties coach, and his cornerback coach.
Yeah, he almost.
We're all fired today.
Yeah, Brian Kelly almost was on a milk carton.
Dude, that guy. I was if he didn't do.
Yeah, it was. Their cornerbacks are bad. Like, really fucking bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I remember we were saying that. I mean, absolutely horrific.
I mean, it was painful to watch at one point because I'm like, you know, Newhouser, I think was the kid that came in, right? For Jaden Daniels.
Yes.
Right? He played Newsmeyer or whatever it was.
Newsmeyer, Gardenhoser.
Yeah, but like, you have a fucking Wisconsin team that finished 7-6, was basically dog shit all year round. They were never really, you know, and you barely sneak out of this bowl. They made this kid Mordecai look like like Joe Montana.
No, they were.
It was so
defense.
bad. It was painful to watch.
Yep, I don't know. I'm
getting on
never
my
a
nerves.
fan of anyone losing a job, but I understand what it is. But guys, the big thing is Michigan, Washington. Who do we like in the title game?
I think Vegas is sorely disrespecting Washington with the spread.
I agree. I think it should be 3. I think it should be 3.
I think this.
I don't think Washington has a good enough defense.
I think this is a pick'em game.
No, I wouldn't go that far. I think
it's a pick'em game.
I'm going Michigan. I'm kind of like jumping on that Michigan train right now.
I mean, listen. The biggest Michigan fanboy in the world even said it. Portnoy, and he just won $1 million on them. He was like 4.5 is too many points. He goes, this should be 1-2 points max. Listen to me. You're in the championship game. There should be no reason whatsoever. But listen, if I'm not mistaken, I think TCU was a 7-point underdog last year to Georgia, and that game was over 5 minutes into the first quarter.
It may have been Pollard, by the way.
Yeah, I think it was Marcus Pollard.
Yeah, I think that's who it was.
Yeah.
But Dallas Clark's the guy that went to Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay, yep.
Big contract and did shit.
Yeah.
But
that was Indianapolis at that time was like Indianapolis at that time was like a tight end factory. They just kept pumping out tight ends.
Yeah.
That's similar to what whatchamacallit is right now. Oh God.
Pumping out tight ends.
I mean, thank God this is, thank God this is a podcast.
Yeah.
What fucking team right now is got like two or three tight ends that are all viable? I'm drawing a blank right now.
You think of that. I'm going Michigan. I don't know if I would take that many points though. I just don't know if Washington
I'm curious
has,
to see when it gets into
defense.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, when the money starts really coming in, where the spread lands.
Washington hasn't, like, they played a really good game. They played fucking Texas. I'm not going to talk about them right now, but Michigan defense.
No disrespect to Washington at all. I'm on Michigan in this one too.
All right, so how about this? You ready for this? As of 10:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 65% of the money is on Washington.
It's strictly for points, I believe. I don't think they really believe Washington's going to win the game. I think it's more.
Yeah, I'd be shocked.
They like Washington at 4.5, which I get.
Right.
But, I mean, I'm going to spoil my 2024 bowl prediction here. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going Michigan to win the game.
Yeah, me too. I'm with you.
And then we go from there to, is this Jim Harbaugh's?
You know what? It's funny. I was thinking about this, and my thought was, if he wins the championship, I think he leaves because he did everything he wanted to do. If he loses, I feel like he might go back, like unfinished business kind of thing. You know what I mean? Because whatever contract he signs, he has to go back. He can't be an NFL coach for next season if he signs that contract.
I think what we're going to see is, I think he's going to look at win or lose. I think he's going to give it consideration. But the luxury he has is he doesn't have to run out and take any job. Like, he's got to go. He can go wherever he wants. I think if the Chargers offer him the job the right way with the right things in place and the right amount of say-so that he's going to want in the organization, I think he'd go to the Chargers.
He could.
Yeah. Herbert would go to the airport to pick him up.
Yeah.
I'd be shocked. I don't think you'd see him go to, if Atlanta moves on from Arthur Smith. No, I don't know. I don't think you see it happen.
I mean, Jeff,
they said only like if they don't make the playoffs and they have like a disaster collapse, then he's gone. I think that's been said already. Like that was like the deal they made.
I'm just using them as an example. Like I wouldn't see him there. I don't think he.
No.
I don't think he'd leave Michigan to take on the mess in Washington.
L.A.
don't-
or
I
Chicago.
don't-
I think those are the only
I
two
don't
teams
see
he would
the-
go to. Everything else, he's staying in Michigan.
I mean,
I don't
Jeff,
think he'd go anywhere else.
in the weeks leading, we kept saying, you know, the Bears, the Bears, the Bears, the Bears. The Bears have now come out and said that they're basically keeping everybody.
I know.
Eberflus, everyone is safe. So again, guys, they have the first overall draft pick. I understand that they could probably, or they will get a king's ransom for that. But do they risk trading back too far and losing out on Marvin Harrison? Because the way I'm looking at it, like every mock draft I opened up, like 7 of them, if Harrison falls to the Arizona Cardinals, that's where he's going.
They need to go offensive line, honestly. But I mean, it's hard to skip on a really good fucking wide receiver.
I mean, I don't know. To me,
Really
if you
good,
want
with a good
to
pedigree.
me, if you want to go, if Marvin Harrison is what they want, I don't trade. I stay where I am. If you're
my
saying
logic.
I'm all in. If I'm all in on Marvin Harrison, if that's my must-have, I stay where I am. Because I'm guaranteed it does no harm to me whatsoever. If you trade out of that pick, you're running the risk. Because you're not trading out of it for the 2. I'll tell you that much. Like, it's not going to be.
So that's the thing, though, because right now there seems to be an internal struggle because right now, this weekend, for all the teams, you know, it has a lot of, like we were talking about, it has a lot of playoff implications, but also has a lot of draft implications this weekend as well. The Giants are the Giants are closely monitoring that Washington game because that's the one team that they're fearful of finishing ahead of them. Because I think, truthfully, the Giants really want Drake May. I really do think that Drake May is. I think that this whole Caleb Williams thing is a smokescreen. And
I just don't like Caleb Williams. Just, I mean, the Giants like Caleb. It's been said, and Caleb really likes the Giants. It's kind of a perfect fit. I understand you don't like him, and that's okay. But the fact of the matter is, he's going to be the first quarterback taken off the board. And he's going to go to one of those teams. Now, we were just bringing up some certain teams. Now, Billy Boy is playing the Jets. And obviously, we don't know if he's coming back to the Patriots. So if he wins, that kind of fucks their draft spot. But you also don't want to lose to the Jets.
There is no shot Bill Belichick is going to
I don't think he's doing that either.
To lose to the Jets.
Well,
no,
I don't know. He's a
happening.
mastermind. He's a goddamn mastermind. He'll figure out a way. But I mean, right now they're number 3, overall. They're in a prime position to get a quarterback.
Yeah. He's not going out there and purposely losing to Trevor Siemian. It's not happening.
I've seen weirder shit happen, and like I said, he's a fucking genius. The guy's a genius. Like whether we like it or not, he knows a lot of shit, and he knows exactly how to do it.
And I think he looks at it and goes, because if you're even thinking that far, you got to be thinking of if I'm here next year. You're not thinking of it.
But we don't know what happens behind closed doors. Maybe he had a meeting with Robert Kraft. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like none of us know. Only he does.
To answer your question, Jeff,
Mm-hmm.
New England Patriots, a top 5 scenario. They'll pick second or third with a loss, depending on what happens in Washington, and with their close strength of schedule.
Washington's losing.
Strength of schedule, right? And with their close strength of schedule tiebreaker with the Commanders, a win could drop them as low as 5th.
Yeah.
So they're still getting a top 5 pick, no matter what. They're leaving with a top 5 pick. And listen, we can't say definitely that the Commanders are going to lose because we have seen the Cowboys. I know, but we have seen the Cowboys come up very short in scenarios like this.
But they're also, but they're playing for.
They're playing
division.
they're playing for the division. They're playing for the
and they're home, I believe, right?
They are. I don't know if they're home. I'm checking for you right now. I don't know if they're home. Cowboys are.
I still, no matter what,
Cowboys are on the road.
Yeah, I still think
Cowboys are in Washington.
It's in Washington. Listen, they should win, but I'm saying that it's not out of the realm of possibility.
Yeah. But you'll see. Watch what Bill does. If Bill's plans on going to Washington, he's like, all right, sweet, number 2 pick. As long as I lose this game, if I win this game, you know what I mean? Like, that's I'm telling you, it's weird. I think
he's negotiating his way out.
It's something, man. There's something going on there. I don't know what it is, but again, we don't know what's happening behind closed doors. Maybe Robert Kraft said, "Hey, look, rough season. We're gonna get a GM. You're gonna coach only, and we're gonna play this thing out and see how it goes." We don't know anything that's going on. You know what I mean? Like, you only have speculation. And the one thing about the Patriots is they were always very hush hush about a lot of their shit. And a lot of people have a lot of turmoil of the next quote unquote coach that's going there. I know. What's his? God, who's that? Who do they have as a coach there? That was a linebacker. Why am I drawing a blank?
Gerard Mayo.
Mayo. So he is apparently like walking around that building as if he's the next one up. Like, he was told that, and that's like causing a lot of shit right now. Like, there's so much shit going on in New England right now, and that's what I'm saying.
That would actually be very surprising if they
apparently he was told he's the next man up when Bill goes. I don't know.
I mean, it's a bold move.
I would try and go get Vrabel.
It's a bold move, Cotton.
I mean,
I'd pick up Vrabel if it's not Belichick.
The thing there, though, and again, we don't know what's going on behind closed doors, but the number one thing we got to remember also is if Belichick goes, the first thing they're going to do is hire a GM.
Yeah.
And that GM, if you want a good one, is going to want to say so in picking the coach. You're not going to have a GM that's going to come in there and go, look, you're going to take this job, and we want you to do it with Gerard Mayo as your coach. Gerard Mayo will certainly interview, but no competent GM is going to want to walk in there and be told who their coach is.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But like, Robert Kraft will be the one to decide that. Like, you're going to get one schmuck that's going to want to be called a GM. You know, a lot of people, they're more about the title than they are the position.
But yeah, those are guys.
In my world, Joe's world, that's a fact.
I know that, but you see that more in sports with guys with a proven track record. Like when Belichick had guys in the front office that were quote unquote the GM. When Parcells would put GMs in the front office. Andy Reid has a GM in the front office. Like, yeah, but Gerard Mayo? No, I don't think Kraft's going to die on that sword.
But there's going to be someone out there that wants to be a GM, and then Robert Kraft's going to be like, all right, look, you could, I'm going to give you a chance. You're going to do a lot of things, but this is how we're going to do this part, and you got to work with him to get the players that you know what I mean? There's going to be someone that he's going to. It's going to be
interesting.
Man. Like,
it's really going to be interesting to see. I'll be honest with you.
No, it is. I'm very curious about what's going to happen there, and if Belichick goes, I am curious on where he's going to go. I think Washington's a good place for him. He'll start off with Drake May. It's going to be a fun time. He'll have a real quarterback. But imagine having that though. If Washington takes Drake May, 2 North Carolina quarterbacks, it wouldn't be bad.
It's definitely going to be interesting.
No,
it would be weird because I think Sam Howell was starting, I believe, over Drake May, and then Drake May went in. Is that? Am I saying that correctly?
I believe so.
Because then
yes.
it's going to be swapped. Because then Drake May is going to really kind of take over, and then he's going to be his backup. Sam Howell is going to be his backup. So I think it's going to be kind of interesting. But So here, we didn't really get too much into the college football championship. I mean, we kind of took a left turn, but
no, it's going to be. We did. I mean, it really started. We were talking about Harbaugh, and
yeah, I know. It's fun. I like that, man. We don't know where we're going. I said we're going fucking rogue tonight. We're just going to start going everywhere.
So, speaking of rogue, Jeff, Cleveland Browns plus 2,200 doing the Super Bowl. It's got to be. It's got to be worth $50, right?
Yeah, if you have 50 to spend, sure.
Yeah,
it's a shot. It's not a bad shot either. I mean, Flacco looks like
my swap driver.
Elite.
My swap driver before the season started put $100 in AC on the Browns to win the Super Bowl.
What was it?
Nice.
What was it then?
Plus 2,400.
Was it that low?
Nice.
Yeah.
I think maybe like plus. It would be like around plus 5,000 maybe or so.
Well, no,
I
you
mean,
got
they
to
look
remember.
good, but I don't know if they were that fucking good.
At that, you remember at that time you had Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb. They were healthy.
Yeah, exactly. They were a
Yeah.
much different team. But guys, that leads us perfectly into it. Our 2024 bold predictions. Joe, why don't you go first for us? What is your bold prediction for the 2024 sports season?
Yeah, this is any sports, right?
Yep, any sport.
Okay. This is not going to be very liked. For the 2024 calendar year, the champions of all 4 major sports will be the most hated teams in each sport. The Cowboys, the Yankees, the Lakers, and whoever the fuck they hate hockey.
Interesting. Jeff, the floor is yours.
I'm gonna let you go because I'm still kind of
All right.
muscling over 2.
Mine's pretty simple. 2 Harbaughs, 2 championship trophies, and 2 brothers in the NFL when it's all said and done.
Fuck, that was too fast, Billy. Can you elaborate?
I think the Ravens are going to win the Super Bowl. I think Michigan is going to win the national championship Monday night. And then I think Jim will be joining John in the NFL as the coach of the LA Chargers.
Okay. I think Yamamoto is going to be a bust. I think the Dodgers are paid $325 million for a guy, and I think he's going to be a bust. Maybe only in the first year. He might figure it out after that. But a lot of Japanese pitchers come over, and they don't really figure it out right away.
So, real quick, it's funny that you brought him up, okay?
Good.
And I was going to... Did you hear about the clause in his contract?
Yes. I was just going to say the same thing. Yeah.
So, there's the opt-out.
There is an opt-out.
Right.
But they didn't label it Tommy John surgery.
Right.
They said any right elbow injury that would cause you to miss 134 games triggers the opt-out.
134 games.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's a weird number.
Yeah, and the funniest thing is we thought the crazier opt-outs were going to be in Ohtani's contract with that if Friedman was fired or the managing general partner was out, that he could opt out. And then we see this. They are getting creative out there in LA. I got to give them credit where
they're always 20 years. Like they're like really China and Japan. Like they're literally 50 years ahead of us.
Yeah,
literally. So are the Dodgers.
I'm trying to understand that, Billy.
But did you also? No, we forgot the end of that opt out. Excuse me for a second. If he does not if he does not miss those 134 days due to
after 6 years,
he can opt out after 6 years and be a free agent at 31. And at 31 years old, all that's left on that contract is 6 years, 170. So realistically, if he is what they think he is, at 31 years old, he could possibly get a bigger contract as a free agent.
Like double dip.
Yeah.
It's actually not a bad idea. I mean, it's a good agent right there.
You just got to hope that you escape Tommy John for 6 years.
Yeah.
He's never had it yet, right?
Nope.
I think he's going to be a bust this year.
The funny thing is they had an excellent case for this clause because they signed a guy who's had 2 in the last 4 years.
And I'm going to add on top of that as well. The Dodgers will lose in the NLDS. They're not getting past it. They do it every fucking year too. It's fucking hysterical. So I think that Yamamoto's going to be a bust year 1. And by bust, I mean he's going to have probably like a high 3, which really isn't a bust, and let's be real. But
for a guy making $30
for a guy
million,
making that kind of money and having all this hype, I'm going to say he's going to have an above a high 3, low 4 ERA, and I think the Dodgers are going to lose in the NLDS.
If that happens, is that the end of Dave
Roberts? No, but
I'm
saying
going on
tour.
If that happens, is is at the end of Dave Roberts in Los Angeles.
No.
If you can't win with
Honestly,
this fucking team, Billy,
I don't know how much more money they have to spend on anybody else.
If you can't win with this team, I'm sorry.
I'll say yes.
I think this is.
He's gotten so many chances.
Yeah, this is it. This is it for
one
Dave
Mickey Mouse
Roberts.
trophy.
No, I think next year with Ohtani pitching is it. I think this year he'll get the pass unless they go and do something else to this rotation. Because again, you got Yamamoto, you got Glasnow, you got Buehler, who's going to be on his innings limit.
Fourth starter coming in.
He's going to be probably with a max of maybe 120, 125 innings, including the postseason. So they're going to need to dip into that depth. We talked about this before, and I'll say it again. There's going to be quite a few guys starting games for the Dodgers this year. So I think he may get the reprieve for 1 year. And then when he's got a top three of Ohtani, Yamamoto, and Glasnow, the gloves are off. There's no more excuses.
You got to remember, I get the rotation aspect of it, but you still have Ohtani in that lineup. That lineup right now is, I still think the Atlanta Braves lineup, top to bottom, is better than the Dodgers lineup.
It is.
Top to bottom, it's not. I still think the Braves are the team to beat in the NL. Okay.
Yeah.
Especially
the power rankings came out, and Atlanta's still above them, even with all these signings.
And we joked around. Chris Sale is gonna he's
motherfucker, man, like that.
That was some trade for them. Honestly, they give up Vaughn Grissom.
Well, they're only paying him $500,000. I would take a chance, $500,000.
100%.
I would take it on Chris Sale.
And he's your number 4, possibly 5.
And the thing is, there's not a lot of pressure on him because he's a 4 or a 5.
Correct.
In Boston, that was your starter. That's your guy. That's your ace. That's your man.
Yeah.
Everything was always. If you notice, with Boston is. Well, when Chris Sale gets healthy, or if Chris Sale this, or if, when Chris Sale comes back, that's when we all go.
He can kind of coast. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't have to worry about playing.
He's got to stay on the field. That's all he needs to do, and he
doesn't have to stay on the field. He just has to pitch a little bit and then just be healthy in September, October. That's it. That fucking sucks, man. They got him. I forgot. I got reminded today that they got Kelenic still, and I was like, oh, fucking forgot about that too.
Yeah.
I was like, shit, this fucking team.
They
do have a shit farm system now that Vaughn Grissom's gone, but silver lining, you have your entire infield signed for the next fucking 10 years. You have your outfielder, Acuna signed for another. It's.
Yeah, they're in a very good place.
They really are.
They're in such.
They have 10 years to rebuild their farm system before these guys are done.
And don't be surprised if they, the Braves are a team that aren't afraid to make the move either. So you're looking at a
don't
season.
Have anybody that, they don't have anybody to give up anymore.
But you got to remember, you have this offseason, if I'm not mistaken, I believe Max Fried and Charlie Martin are both pending free agents.
Yes,
Morton,
they are.
Right?
Yeah, Morton and Fried. So listen, would it be out of the realm of possibility for them to try to flip Fried for some prospects?
No, what they're going to do is they're going to tell Fried, hey, we're going to give you an extension. This is going to be a 8-year, $95 million contract. And
you're going to say yes.
And 1% goes to the Braves, what do they do that? The charity foundation.
Yeah.
Where almost all their players they sign have to take 1%, at least 1% that goes to that charity. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. It's exactly what's going to fucking happen.
It's going to be real interesting.
What's gonna be more?
That should be my bold prediction. Resign Max Fried for double-digit years and only double-digit money. Fucking goddamn Braves.
What's gonna be a better read, Jeff? The story about how the Braves manipulated all of these guys into these contracts, or the Epstein list? Which one's going to be better?
This Atlanta Braves in the next 20, I'm telling you, 20, 30 years, it's going to be a 30 for 30. I'm telling you right now, there's going to be something going on there. I'm telling you.
Fucking Jeff is going to start his own series on conspiracy theories in sports.
Oh my god, yeah.
It's like Tales from the Crypt.
It'll be a
starring Jeff.
I'll do my own pod on that. I don't give a shit.
All right. And on that note, guys,
The fuck you guys laughing at?
Just,
I'm gonna do it.
You and your fucking conspiracy theories.
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, just listen. God bless you. Go for it.
Okay, conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
But either way,
Jeff, I have one last question before we get to it. Were you excited to see The
9.5
Rock
inches.
on Monday night?
no, I didn't watch it.
Jeff will never be sitting at the head
The
of
only
the table.
wrestling I watch is porn. That's it. Two people going at it.
Now it's a really on that note.
The only wrestling I watch.
Now that we've hit the 18 and over audience.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how I do it.
All right, gents. Last week of football. Can't believe it's already here. It's terrible. But that means baseball's close.
Let's go, boys. Yeah, it's funny because like I was telling, I think I was telling Billy the other day. I'm usually like in baseball mode because Dolphins usually out by now. So like I'm not used to being like last year they made the playoffs first. You know, that was just you were on your third string quarterback. It just wasn't a good thing. But I'm not. Yeah, they're a good team this year and they're actually fun to watch. So it's weird for me not to be in baseball mode, which is good because the Mets aren't really doing anything this offseason. So again, next week we'll get into that. I have a little wish list. I'm hoping maybe by next week some part of the wish list will be on the team by then. But yeah, this was a fun little Thursday edition instead of a Wednesday.
Yeah,
absolutely.
This is
we'll definitely get into that next week. And I'm going to start that. I am going to start that Mount Rushmore. I'll start tomorrow.
Yep.
Keep a lookout on Fired Up Sports Network on Facebook for your Mount
Facebook,
Rushmore.
Twitter, Instagram,
everything.
TikTok.
Yes.
That's going to be on Facebook, that one, but yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Facebook exclusive Mount Rushmore.
Yeah. I kind of like it. I want to see there's so many schmucks in that goddamn group, so I'm kind of curious to see how some of them will.
Well, let's get it up.
That could be its own 30 for 30.
We should get it on. And we should get it on the gram as well because we've been getting a lot of traction there.
We have a lot of traction there. Yeah. So whatever, I'll post it on Facebook and then we'll throw it up on Instagram and
make sure you follow us on all social media platforms and. Continue
Check out our website at firedupsportsnetwork.com.
And continue listening to us wherever you get all of your podcasts.
And buy our merch, man. DM us, though. You have to DM us with the orders.
Yeah. We
I'm wearing this one right now. I like the red. I really do. And the military green's really, I fucking love it. Those hoodies. Woo!
Billy, you know what I really adore? When someone talks about seeing things and it's a podcast.
Yeah.
I said I'm wearing one right now.
You should look
flexed.
at it.
I was showing you guys.
Then you flexed for us.
Because you guys don't promote the merch. Look at you. Billy looks like a goddamn lumberjack, and you look like a fucking hobo.
Jeff, you're lucky I'm alive right now. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, diarrhea.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, have a great start to your 2024, and thank you for listening.
See ya.